This is Mburra.sports coming at you with another video here. And this weekend we have UFC 211. Stipe Miocic, the heavyweight champ, looking for his revenge of the last guy who beat him, and Joanna Jędrzejczyk is looking for another title defense. Let's get right into this. We're starting off with the prelims. In the fight pass prelims, I've got Jessica Aguilar beating Courtney Casey by unanimous decision, Gabriel Benitez submitting Enrique Barzola in the second round, Chase Sherman knocking out Rashad Coulter in the first round, and Michael Quinones knocking out Jared Gordon in the first round. I've got James Vick submitting Polo Reyes in the third round, Christoph Joku remaining hot and getting a unanimous decision, Chaz Skelly winning by first round submission, and Dustin Poirier is going to knock out Eddie Alvarez in the third round. Let's get into that fight, since this fight will be on the main card and basically any other card. Eddie Alvarez is coming off a knockout loss to Conor McGregor in UFC 205, which was an historic fight because Conor McGregor became the first man to ever hold two belts at the same time. Before that, he actually won the lightweight title when he knocked out and devastated Rafael dos Anjos. He won the fight before that against Anthony Pettis by decision. Poirier is coming off the decision win against Jim Miller at UFC 207. The fight before that, he got knocked out in the first round by Michael Johnson, and then in that fight before that, he looked great against Bobby Green, the knockout. I think Eddie Alvarez is getting a little older there, his chin, and Poirier is on the rise. I think Poirier is going to get the job done and get a knockout. Let's move on to the main card. We got the number 2 flyweight, Henry Cejudo, versus the number 6 flyweight, Sergio Pettis. Cejudo is coming off two back-to-back losses, the most recent being a decision loss to Joseph Benavidez at the Ultimate Fighter 25 season finale, and the fight before that, a TKO round 1 loss to Demetrius Johnson. The fight before that, he won a decision against Jessier Formiga. And then Pettis is coming off back-to-back decision wins, first against Moraga, then Coletas, then Carriazo. I think Pettis is going to handle Cejudo's wrestling, and I think Pettis is going to get this done by a third-round submission. Move on to former lightweight champion and number 2 ranked featherweight, Frankie Edgar, versus the rising phenom and number 9 ranked featherweight, Yair Rodriguez. Frankie Edgar is coming off a decision win against Jeremy Stevens, a decision loss against Jose Aldo, and the fight before that, a knockout win against Chad Mendes. And Yair Rodriguez coming off of a knockout win against Andre Fili, decision win against Hogs Caceres, and his most recent fight at the beginning of the year, first round knockout win over BJ Penn. I think Yair Rodriguez, although he's a rising phenom and he will probably get a title shot eventually, and he's rising, I think Frankie Edgar is the guy who's going to slow down the momentum. I don't think Yair can handle Frankie Edgar's wrestling. I think Edgar's going to take it to the ground and win a unanimous decision victory. Let's move on to the feature bout and a really big fight in the welterweight division. This is a number 1 contender fight. Number 3 ranked welterweight Demian Maia versus number 5 ranked welterweight Jorge Masvidal. Both of these guys have been hot recently. Demian Maia is on a tear, getting a decision win against Gunnar Nelson, then a third round submission against Matt Brown, and then his most recent when he submitted Carlos Condit. This dude is dangerous on the ground. And holy crap, his Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is amazing. And you got Jorge Masvidal, who's also on a tear, getting a decision win against Ross Pearson, a first-round knockout against Jake Ellenberger, and then his most recent fight, an impressive second-round knockout win against Cowboy Cerrone. Cowboy Cerrone at that time was tearing through everything. But he stopped Cowboy Cerrone's momentum and in Cowboy Cerrone's hometown of Denver. I think Masvidal is going to make this an ugly enough fight. I don't think Demian Maia is going to take Masvidal's punches, and I think Masvidal is going to be fighting Woodley next for the belt. I think Masvidal is going to win by a second-round knockout. Now let's move to the co-main event and the Women's Strawweight Championship. The best women's mixed martial artist in the game right now, Joanna Jędrzejczyk, the champion, against number 3 ranked Jessica Andrade. Andrade has been on the rise. So Jessica Andrade, she's been on the rise, getting a second-round knockout win against Jessica Penne, a first-round submission win against Joanne Calderwood, and a decision win against Angela Hill. She's looked great ever since dropping from the bantamweight to the strawweight division. She definitely has earned this title shot, but she's facing Joanna, who has not lost a professional fight yet. And she got a decision win against Valerie Letourneau, a decision win against Claudia Gadelha, and her most recent fight, a decision win against Karolina Kowalkiewicz. I will say this. Joanna was hurt in the 4th round of the fight against Kowalkiewicz. But I don't think she was close to being put away. She was hurt though. And if Andrade can land punches and hurt her and put her away, she will win the belt. I don't think that's going to happen. I think the only way you beat Joanna right now is to finish her. I don't think anyone can right now. I don't think Andrade's going to finish Joanna. And I think Joanna Jędrzejczyk is going to hold her belt and get unanimous decision victory in a semi-close fight. Now we move to the main event. Heavyweight championship. We got champion Stipe Miocic, who has been unstoppable against the last guy to beat him, number 4 ranked contender Junior Dos Santos. Dos Santos is the last guy to beat Stipe. It was a war. It was a 5-round war, and they kept landing, and some could argue, like I would argue, that Stipe won that fight, but Stipe, he wants this fight bad. This is gonna be a good fight. This is gonna be a brawler's fight, one of those entertaining fights. And so far as Junior Dos Santos, he got that decision win against Stipe. He got knocked down in the second round by Alistair Overeem, and then he got a decision victory against Ben Rothwell in his most recent fight. But Stipe Miocic, his last 3 fights ever since losing to Junior Dos Santos, has been a tear. First round knockout of Andrei Arlovski, first round knockout of Fabricio Werdum to win the title, and a first round knockout in his hometown of Cleveland against Alistair Overeem to defend the title. This is gonna be an exciting fight. I think Stipe is gonna get his revenge. I think Stipe is almost unstoppable right now. I mean, he's unstoppable right now. He's an animal, and I don't think he's gonna give up this belt for a little while. I think Stipe Miocic is gonna. I think both champions are going to defend their titles, but they're gonna be 2 entertaining fights. This is Mburra.sports. Comment what your predictions are below and any thoughts you have. Follow me on Instagram at Mburra.sports and same at Twitter. And make sure to subscribe and leave a like. This is Mburra.sports.